have a real hard time with that now too. And I'm dyslexic, which I've said before. And so when I'm hearing something, I'm locking it into my brain because I'm not going to be able to read it later. And I would always pre-read. Back in the day when we did Wizards, they would always bring the script to our house. Sometimes 2 a.m. they would drop it off.
Wait, what?
You know? Oh, wait, you didn't get your script dropped off?
Hang on.
Well, I just made it up on the spot.
I know what you mean.
Getting the script ahead of time meant that I could look through, and if there was a word I didn't know how to read or whatever, and then there was one table read where I turned the page and I was like, oh, motherfucker. I have a whole nut, and I'm like trying to read. I think I made a little mistake, and I didn't want anyone to know that I was dyslexic because then it makes, I don't know if it's me or whatever, but I felt like people would be like, oh, and they would treat me differently.
I get that.
You know?
I get that.
So that was the first time. That was the second season where the cat was out of the bag a little bit with that. But I don't know how I memorized all the stuff either. I watch it. I mean, I'm watching it very unbiasedly, or I'm watching it and I don't remember what I did. You know what I mean?
But there's kind of a beauty to it, I think, rewatching it with this much distance and with this much because I know I've talked to you about how I didn't watch it at the time.
Not at all. Only watched playback and stuff. Didn't watch. I mean, you watched it, right? On TV or something?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched the playback on the things. I never watched it on TV.
But isn't
Never.
that crazy?
No.
See, he's not. By the way, Dan Benson's
Is that my vanity
expression
that I'm like, I
was-
have to see myself on Disney. Look at me. Everybody, come look.
Also, listen, I totally respect you not watching it. I get it. Although for me, I was able to see, oh, that worked or that didn't work. I was watching the outside of things.
That's what I got to. But I also was I've talked to you about like my chronicle overthinking things, but also too, I was a perfectionist and I had not gotten over that at the time. And so I would beat the shit out of myself when I would watch when I would watch things that I was in.
Well, not watching it is a good idea.
So that was why I
then,
didn't watch it. And now that I'm older and I've let go of that people pleasing, the perfectionism, like that kind of thing, and I can now separate myself, and it is more beneficial for me to watch playback or to watch like things that I've done
because I can forced. You have to rewatch things.
Well, this is different, but I'm just saying like other things that I've done because now I can look at it and objectively go, okay, I like that. That worked. That didn't. Moving forward,
and it didn't hurt that you were really fucking funny, Jen.
Yeah.
So, by the way, this shouldn't be a rewatch podcast. This should be a watch podcast.
For the first time,
Right?
discovering.
Well, some of especially the episodes I wasn't in, like your first episode, movies I hadn't seen it, and I was like, this is really funny. I liked it. What was your favorite Zeke moment?
I think it had to be the Mexico dance.
Yes,
The Mexico song.
So good.
Was the most Zeke thing.
Do you remember some of it?
Mexico, unique and emerging marketplace. Mexico. Of course I remember it. It's my favorite moment.
People ask me to do it?
Of all the time.
Yes, I love it.
That's so good. Okay,
funny.
so
I forgot about that.
You're doing the show. The episodes start airing. When do you get recognized for the first time? Do you remember what that was like?
I think it was more in season 2 because I only did 2 episodes in season 1.
Well, season 1, we shot the entire season before it aired.
Oh,
We shot
okay. Well, that
everything.
makes sense then.
We've talked about like what a special time that was because it really was just us playing and like nobody had seen it and we got to it was ours. It was ours the first season. And then for season 2, that
Everything
was when
went to
it
shit.
became,
No, I'm kidding.
No, but that was when we shared it with people and it wasn't just ours anymore.
Right, which was great. And
It
I really
was.
love that. And
it just was different.
I think shooting in the bubble, basically, inside, really helped us form together more.
Yeah, for sure.
As a group.
It was a great way to start it.
Okay,
but
so
anyway,
season
we'll
2.
shut up.
I have a moment where someone recognized me from my voice, and I was like, holy shit, people know what's going on. But did you not have a moment where someone was like...
Oh, I definitely had moments, and it was... it's hard to put into words how exciting it was for me, because I'd been an actor for 10 years. I actually did a Disney show back in 2004 called
What show was that?
Phil the Future.
I saw that. Yeah. I didn't realize that you were on
And I
Phil.
met my best friend of the last 20 years. We both had a tiny part on that episode of Phil the Future, but we never met each other. We saw each other on set, never talked to one another. But then, a small actor.
So you weren't friends prior, but you did a show, and then later you became
we
friends.
kind of hey, we're on that same show together. That's crazy. And then we've been best friends for 20 years.
love that.
since then, which is
Did we
crazy.
say
but-
this person's name? Or are we allowed to
Yeah,
say? Okay.
Chris Bain.
Hey, Chris.
His acting name was Chris Hunter.
Chris Hunter.
And now he's
great
like a
acting name.
professional photographer.
So he went from Chris Bain to Chris Hunter.
Those are both great names.
But they are good names. Chris, what happened?
Yeah. Well, Chris Hunter was like, he had the cool guy look, like curly hair, cool guy.
But so Phil of the Future was how long before Wizards? It was
2004, and then Wizards was in.
Like
07,
07.
Yeah.
08. Yeah.
And so I had just only gotten tiny little fractions of parts. But like we were talking about earlier, my dad kept telling my dad, I owe this back to my dad, of like every tiny part, go in there and put everything you've got into that, because
make
you don't
me
know
cry,
who's watching.
Dad.
You
Okay.
don't know who's
Your parents
watching.
Of course
are the
not.
sweetest.
And they kept instilling that in me, and that's why I was able to like.
Just so you know, most
so
parents are
much.
like, what the fuck are you doing? Go to college and stop trying to be an actor. That's so wonderful that they were
They
so
picked up their
supportive.
entire lives and moved to California
Yeah.
just
Your
so
parents,
to give us an
your
opportunity.
parents, every time they came to set, were
crazy.
the sweetest. Like they're the best.
were the most supportive. I mean, I can't thank them enough. I owe everything to them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was refreshing to see because like there's so many parents that want it more than their kids.
Mm.
So it was refreshing for me to see like your parents that were, you could tell you just loved it and they just wanted it for you because you loved it. Yeah. And that was really refreshing.
I'm so happy that they got to meet you both, because they love you both so much. I mean,
We'll give them our love.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. So
Oh, do you guys want to know a tidbit?
yes,
Yeah.
I have a little
love
tidbit
love
of
tidbits.
something that no
Dan,
one knows.
Dan, we're here for all your tidbits.
I have plenty of tidbits. That's a different place.
We'll get there. We'll get to the tidbits.
So I don't think I've told anybody this
Oh my God. You're hearing it here
for the first time.
Exclusive.
So before I booked Wizards of Waverly Place, we were going, I was in young Hollywood actor. We all just
Yeah.
hung out together. So there was David Henry had a group of friends.
Oh, I
And
remember.
then I was in a kind of a different subset of friends. Well, those two subsets of friends did not like each other.
Oh my God, it was like rivals.
And it was like rivals.
Yeah.
Almost. And we were at a party one time, and it became a full out
and you
brawl.
started snapping and
No, you got
fighting.
into a fucking fight?
I didn't.
Oh,
I was like avoiding this because I knew David Henry, and I knew that like I think I'd booked it, but we hadn't shot it yet or something like that.
shit.
It was like I booked a small part, but I hadn't gone to film yet. It was that close to when we were going to go film that
God.
episode, and so like people got pushed in the pool. There was like I don't
This
know.
sounds like
some people
fun,
fell
Dan.
in the fireplace.
Yeah. Oh,
or
that's
something.
bad.
It was like really bad. It was not good. And so I was so nervous that David would hate me so much. Even though I was like trying to be like, I have no,
Yeah.
like this was not me. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm just like, we're
Yeah.
friends. Everybody get
so
along.
you were nervous about getting.
was very
Did he
nervous.
mention it at all?
Never made it an issue.
Did he
never,
know?
I don't know fully how much, like we never sat down and talked about it. But I was nervous about that for sure.
That's
and if
fair.
he did know, I want to just say thank you so much for not
Firing?
taking,
not complaining?
not like
Making it a
taking,
thing.
making it a thing.
Yeah, 'cause that could have been really bad.
Yeah,
Well, when he comes here, we're going to ask him that.
ask
Yeah.
him
There
if
There was
he
a
knew
party
that.
where you were wasted and throwing people in the pool. Do you
Watch, he,
remember
like,
Dan?
blacked out.
Whoa,
He
whoa,
didn't
whoa,
remember any of
whoa!
it.
We were drinking juice.
Juice.
I'm pretty sure.
Apple
Right,
juice
right.
for having graham crackers, taking a little nap.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this clip of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And for the full episode, go to the Wizards Pod YouTube channel. The link is in the description.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now. There's a link in the description for that too. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.